James sighed and rubbed his tired eyes. The glow from his computer screen was the only thing lighting up his desk. The rest of the office was dark and quiet. Rows of cubicles stretched out in every direction, empty chairs and silent monitors making the space feel abandoned. The air was still, except for the low hum of the AC and the faint ticking of the clock. It was almost 1 a.m. Everyone else had left long ago. He stretched his arms and took a deep breath. Just one more report to finish, and then he could head home. Or so he thought. A soft ding broke the silence. James frowned and turned his head toward the elevator at the end of the hallway. The doors slid open, revealing an empty cabin. He hadn't called it. A weird feeling crept up his spine. He stared at the elevator, waiting for someone to step out. No one did. The doors just stood open, as if expecting someone to enter. Then he noticed the button panel inside. Smudged fingerprints covered the number 7, overlapping each other, as if someone had pressed it again and again. A chill ran through him. He glanced up at the security camera in the corner. It flickered for a second, and in that brief moment, he saw something, a shadow standing just inside the elevator. James shook his head and turned back to his computer. You're just tired, seeing things. He tried to focus on his screen, but something felt off. He looked around the office. Everything seemed the same, but then his stomach dropped. A chair at one of the desks near the window had been pushed out. He was sure it had been tucked in before. Now, it was slightly turned, like someone had just stood up from it. Even worse, the monitor at that desk was on. A faint blue glow illuminated the keyboard. He squinted, trying to see what was on the screen. His breath hitched when he saw the reflection. There were 2 people in the room, but he was alone. His heart pounded as he stared at the glowing screen. A notification popped up on his own computer. Ping, a message from an unknown number. You need to leave, now. James' fingers trembled over the keyboard. He hesitated, unsure if he should reply. Before he could decide, another message appeared. It knows you're here. A lump formed in his throat. He swallowed hard and slowly turned his head. The office was silent. Too silent. James forced himself to breathe. He stood up, telling himself this was just some stupid prank. He turned toward the glass wall of the meeting room, ready to laugh at himself. Then he saw it. His reflection stared back at him, but he wasn't alone. A tall, thin figure stood just behind him. It had no face, no features, just a smooth, pale shape where a face should be. Long, bony fingers pressed against the glass, leaving faint smudges. James spun around, heart racing. Nothing was there. But the figure was still in the reflection when he looked back at the glass, standing perfectly still, watching. A loud crash shattered the silence. Every light in the office flickered wildly before shutting off completely. A red emergency glow filled the room. James didn't wait. He ran. His footsteps pounded against the floor as he sprinted toward the stairwell. Behind him, he heard something move. A slow scraping sound, like nails dragging along the floor. His shaking hands reached for the stairwell handle. He yanked it open, but before he could step inside, a breath. Right against his ear, a voice whispered, "Too late." The sun rose, casting a pale light over the city. The office doors slid open as employees walked in, yawning and chatting about their morning coffee. But something felt off. Desks were untouched, computers still in sleep mode. The place was too quiet, too still. Then someone noticed it. A single note placed right in the middle of James' desk. The paper was old, edges curled. The words were written in blood, only 4 words: "He stayed too late." A shiver ran through the room. No one ever saw James again.